Welcome in the Bobby Carpenter Show and this wonderful Tuesday, Schlegs. We're here on the eve of me flying with the Blue Angels. We've got a big day tomorrow. Lots of
You
great
should
stuff
you
going
should play
on.
that in the cockpit when you're going. Send me an angel. Remember that? Wasn't that movie Rad?
It's called
Remember
Rad.
that movie Rad?
Called
The
Rad.
BMX bike one. Send me an angel. I love that song.
So I
That's
finished
a
up watching Maverick last night. Watched some of it on Sunday, some on Monday. I asked the guy, how should I prepare? And he goes, just watch Maverick. Now I'm going to talk to one of the guys who used to fly F-18s, and AJ's done it, and so is Ryan Miller. So I'm getting nuggets from them about how to do it. But I don't know if there is really a good way. Like, just don't eat beforehand, which I'm not going to. I never really eat in the morning. I've got the late window, which kind of stinks. I was hoping to have the earlier one, but Buckeyes, you take what you can get. If you want to get a chance to do this, fly F-18s. My kids were watching it. Schlegs, they asked, they go, how much does planes cost? And I'm like, well, the F-14 Tomcat back in 85 was like $1 million. I go, the F-35s now are probably over 100 million. And they're like, what? I'm like, dude, they fly so fast. Their weapon system, the F-35 Schlegs have like some sort of cloaking on them that you can't even see them. And my son looked up, he goes, yeah, they say it's between 200 and 400 million dollars. I'm like, yeah, dude, no doubt. That thing is a freaking spaceship. It's ridiculous. So
Charge it to winning, sir. Charge it to winning.
Well, that's what they do in the US because you want to win, you got to have the right gear. And so they charge it to winning for our country, and Buckeyes, they get it rolling. So that's tremendous. Unfortunately, we got Bill Bender tomorrow. AJ will not be with us. He had to go to Indy. So he had some commitments. He had to get out there with McAfee. We'll see if we can get him on later in the week. We got Austin Ward on today coming up here. Talked about this QB battle, and maybe even talk to him about some of the comments about JJ, what he said, and then they're talking to him about what he said about Julian, and then they had him on him talking about Lincoln and all that. But what I want to get to, Schleich, here off the jump, is Ryan talked, and obviously it laid out a lot of stuff yesterday. We got into that. And then Matt Patricia talked afterwards. We didn't really get into all that. And they, had that posted, got out on social. But Matt Patricia had some comments about the quarterback and everything. Let's remember, this guy was an NFL coach for a long time, coached on the offensive side of the ball as well, and then also a head coach. So he has kind of a unique perspective into this that maybe you don't have, like most college defensive coordinators wouldn't have, because they wouldn't have that NFL experience, and especially usually coach on both sides of the ball. But let's get that Matt Patricia. Let's see what old Matty P has to say.
Yeah, two great young kids battling it out. I thought it was fun to watch them compete, and obviously to be on the other side of it, knowing some of the different looks that we might have with the coverages and the reads. Both of them, really did a great job. And, Coach Day and Coach Hartline and Coach Best, obviously, doing everything they can to evaluate that. For me, it was really what I saw is just decision making when I'm showing different looks, or we're having different coverages, or we're rolling through practices without scripts, where things are going to be moving a little bit at a different pace, and being able to handle the tempo of the offense and things like that in the huddle. Adjustments at the line of scrimmage, we kind of threw a bunch of different things at him, and I think his ways, his ability to kind of see the defense and then also really make quick decisions. Lincoln's a great athlete too. He did a good job, against us, obviously. But Julian, I think just his ability to kind of see the defense, make the decision, get the ball out quick, and I think that's one of the things we want. Quarterback that's going out there in a big stage in a big game here. Just
yeah, sorry guys, that was so muffled because I don't know who was recording that. Sounded like somebody put in the chat. Sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher. But hey, what did he say though, Bob? He said the things that he liked when we went unscripted, when we were rolling a bunch of different coverages, he was able to adjust, decipher, and make quick decisions.
Adjust
the ball
with
out of
poise.
his hand, adjust with poise. That's a Jay Hooten, right? Hoot was like, hey, this is what we do.
So that's where you
just
got
attack
that. Adjust with poise. You stole that from Jay Hooten?
Yeah, because Jay at Northwestern, because Northwestern in and of itself is a weird place. And I always say attack and dominate, but he was like, we're going to adjust, attack, and dominate, because they had to adjust all the time.
Is that because the guys used to go through the showers, the car wash, and pee on each other? Helicopter D's?
No, man, that's just sanitary, man. They're just making sure everybody's clean.
Yeah. Listen, is it really necessary that I drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste. So, I mean, Patrick O'Houlihan knew.
Yeah, he
So
knew.
Justin Poise. You kept saying Justin Poise. I thought that was a Schleg's original. Now I've come to find that you had boosted it off Jay Hooten. So I'm
I don't ever boost anything. Jay, great job. But it's just like yours. Don't confuse activity with achievement. I say it all the time, as though I say gas station ready. That came from Josh Bryant. Your thing that came from you. Those are great nuggets, and they're easy things to say. But again, the biggest thing that Matty P, and I think when you go look at the totality of what Ryan Day made this decision, right? He's not leaning on players. He's not leaning on what the media thinks or what fans think. He's going on his track record. But somebody that he is going to talk to is the defense, and it's not necessarily, hey, who would you go with, Matty P? That's not what he's asking. He's like, hey, during these situations, I need some more of this. I got to challenge them in this capacity, right? It can't be, we're playing just 3 or 6 or 8 or 2. It's like, no, man, I need some fire zones. I need some disguise to go to this with your ones. Like, I need to really put them under the pressure of like being able to understand what's out there so they can adjust and so I can measure what they do in those type of situations, because that's what you're going to see versus Texas. You know what Texas does, but you don't know what Texas does with new personnel in a week 1 matchup versus your offense. So that's why you need to test them in camp, and that's what Matty P did, and those are some of the things that Matty P saw during the quarterback battle.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see how those guys respond. I'm going to throw something out there. Here's a unique front. Here's a unique deal on the back end. Maybe you've seen this, what it looks like before, and instead of running what we've run 4 times, now we throw a blitz to it, or we go from single high to 2 high. We go from 3 down to 4 down. We run a bear, whatever we do. And with that, there's a lot of different stuff that can ultimately be done. And so you do those different things, and it just looks a little different. And so, you know what we're going to do? It's a little bit early, but we're going to take a break. That way I think we can get two little nuggets in here with Austin Schlegs. Want to get our guy A Ward Sports, who is about all this life, who's always around it, who's interviewed JJ, talked to everybody. I mean, he lives in Ryan Day's basement sometimes, I think. So he has all the nuggets that you're going to get. I want to tell you about this. Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. So a week from today, 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. Take a flyer on the MVP race. Ooh, who do we think, Schlegs? Who's a good little outside than maybe like an old Derrick Henry, or you go with his teammate Lamar Jackson? It's all there for you. Maybe you crown your champion in August. Maybe the Vikings. Who knows? We'll see what J.J. McCarthy can do. Get someone with a little value, or you can parlay your division winner dark horses all together. Mark your calendars. This is your day for hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. A Ward Sports coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, now we welcome our guy, A Ward Sports, from him and Berm's podcast. You can see it over on The Fan, doing a great job here. He's going to talk to Ryan a little bit later. They've moved practice back in the day some. Contend with that heat that they're going to see for that just luscious big noon kick here. And about
your favorite, Bob.
Yeah, who doesn't love big noon in 10 days, Austin? It's going to be tremendous.
The big nooner.
The big nooner. The big news yesterday was the quarterback battle, the competition that ensued that was won by Julian Sayin. Ryan spoke on that, maybe not as at length. And usually there was an anticipation of the announcement. I'd asked some people around. I was like, "Hey, is he going to announce after practice?" And like, well, he hasn't really said anything to anyone. And then lo and behold, came out there and did. Is it what you expected? Are the reasons for what you expected them to be? Any surprises of kind of how he structured or outlined what had happened?
Yeah, I don't think that I'm tremendously surprised, Bob, because I think that all of us had sort of talked about this as the likely outcome for 7, 8 months, going back to the end of the national championship run, is that Julian Sayin, the 5-star pedigree, the arm talent, the quick release, the decision making, all those things we talked about for a long time. What we didn't necessarily anticipate was how much Lincoln Keenholz would be able to push Julian Sayin and make that decision maybe more complicated at times for Ryan Day than anybody anticipated it being. And I know that there's this notion, well, Julian Sayin was leading the whole time. This competition wasn't legitimate. It wasn't real. I think that would be unfair and dismissive to Lincoln Keenholz and the progress that he made. And at the same time, it's probably not reflecting as much of the progress that Julian Sayin had to make. He is still a redshirt freshman, second year in the Ohio State program, hasn't started a game yet. There were going to be ups and downs and bumps and bruises and inconsistency in practice. And there were. We saw that through the 5 open practices in spring, even in the first 3 of training camp. Now, there was a huge sample size that wasn't available for media consumption, and I understand that. But, even as you saw through that first week for Julian Sayin, he was getting better and better every day. It was like, okay, well, maybe here's the growth that was anticipated, and he's going to take this job as expected and anticipated. I think the timing lines up with what Ryan Day has always done as well, Bob. Like, you could have pretty much circled it. The Monday after the second scrimmage, you're probably going to have an announcement. And I think for Ohio State's benefit and for Julian Sayin's benefit, they needed to make that choice and give 2 weeks of preparation for Texas to put whoever Ryan Day deemed to be the best quarterback for this offense in position to win against the Longhorns. And it's not surprising to me that was Julian Sayin, and the timing doesn't necessarily surprise me either.
Yeah, we heard some stuff that even Jeremiah Smith might have had some say on this because of some comments that he made. Will you just elaborate a little bit, because you're able to go back and actually ask him about that, because he got asked a question specifically about Julian and what does he do well. And then there was another one about Lincoln, but there were just separate comments in the midst of this. And I told people, it was like, players, regardless of the status of that player in a program, they're not making this call. The head football coach does, and the head football coach is Ryan Day, national champion coach, does a great job of developing quarterbacks here at Ohio State. Can you tell them a little bit about then asking the question about what Lincoln does well in this whole thing?
Yeah, so you went back to, I think it was the early part of July, Schlegs, and Jeremiah Smith was down at home.
Days, was it not? Oh,
but I'm getting the backstory. The back nugget there, Schlegs, was that he was down in Miami, and the Athletic was working on a story with him. He showed up at a 7-on-7 camp, and the question was posed to him. And the author of this story, Manny Navarro, I think does a great job covering college football. He's known Jeremiah for a long time, but it was posed to Jeremiah that, it was written in the story, well, starting quarterback, Ohio State starting quarterback Julian Sayin, and then Jeremiah's description of him. And my hypothesis at the time was, and I wasn't there, and that's why, Berman and I sort of wanted to follow up and get some clarification, because we had talked about it on the beat on 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV. It was like, well, Jeremiah will answer any question that you ask him. He's going to be truthful. He's going to be honest. He's going to be transparent, but he's also not going to spend a lot of time deviating and venturing off on true digressions. Shout out to Tim May about other things that he's not being asked about. So he wasn't asked about Lincoln Keenholz at that time. So when Berman and I sat down with Jeremiah, the question was, hey, what happened with this Athletic interview? Were you asked solely about Julian Sayin? And then you answered that. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, is there anything that you would like to add about the other guy who's going to be competing at quarterback? And he talked about Lincoln Keenholz and being a dog and the athleticism. And he wound up, that was validated with Mickey Marotti and the strength staff naming him as an Iron Buckeye. So it wasn't, I don't think either side, I don't think Manny Navarro was trying to force a narrative for Julian Sayin, and I don't think anybody that was asking about Lincoln Keenholz at Big Ten Media Days was trying to drive a narrative either way. Like they were both going to compete in training camp, and Jeremiah was being treated, the perception of this was like that he only wanted Julian Sayin to be the quarterback, and that certainly wasn't the case.
So when you heard him talking about Lincoln and Ryan, do you think that there's a pathway where Lincoln plays it all this year? I know he said he was going to play. I mean, do you think they package it? Obviously, he'll be the next guy up. This isn't a situation where, where you see some of these guys lose these battles, and then the portal might not be open, but they just leave the team and they're not with them. Like, you don't foresee any of this happening with Lincoln Kienholz, do you?
No, I don't think so. And I felt this way about Lincoln Kienholz and his mindset, his competitiveness, the way that he's viewed in the locker room, going back to spring camp, the opportunities that were in front of him. And then this also plays into NIL, Bob. As you know, you're looking at, a 12-month commitment, not a 4-month commitment. People are, well, if Lincoln doesn't win the job, will he leave after spring? I said, I don't think so. I think that he understands the value of being the backup quarterback, both, in terms of his physical development and also potentially his financial growth, not just for this year, but also for wherever whether that's Ohio State or somewhere else after this year. I don't know. Not speculating on that, but his valuation either way would grow with another year in Ohio State system. And there's going to be opportunities for him to play. And I think that Lincoln Kienholz knows that he's still relatively early in his development as a full-time quarterback. When we talk about his multi-sport experience and high school career, showing up, not enrolling early at Ohio State, is like that. He's a little bit behind other guys in his class at that position. And I don't think that's a mystery to Lincoln Kienholz. In fact, I think he's very well aware of that and what it means for his future. So I don't think there's going to be any sort of issue with leaving the team early, especially now with the revenue sharing in this world. Like, you'd basically be leaving your paycheck to be trying to move on to the next one, where that school may or may not be able to pay you during the midst of a season where it's already committed to its current roster. I know that part is not very fun to talk about, but that is one benefit of keeping rosters together, at least as I view it for Ohio State at this point. When in terms of playing time, I think I've never been, Bob, I want to be consistent in this, and I will be. I didn't like it when JT Barrett was the red zone option. I didn't like it when Tate Martell was getting a red zone package. And I didn't think that it made a lot of sense for Devin Brown. In fact, it didn't work and led to an injury for Devin Brown as well. It didn't lead to it, but he got injured while doing it. And I think it gets a little wonky and complicated. And I think that, Ryan Day would prefer.
Avril Lavigne sang a song about that, Austin.
It's an absolute banger. I think it's one of the most underrated hits of the 2000s, if we're being honest. But I think Lincoln still he doesn't want to be a gadget player. He wants to be a quarterback. And I'm not saying that he can or can't do that if you package it with plays, but we're going to see him. I think there's an absolute guarantee that he's going to play against Grambling. I think it's highly likely that he'll play against Ohio. And that is not just a continuation of the battle. That's preparing for the future. That's preparing Lincoln Kienholz. That's preparing the Ohio State offense. You go through 16 games. Devin Brown had to come off the bench and throw a touchdown to Jeremiah Smith at Michigan State last year. So you have to have these guys ready to go. And I don't think Lincoln Kienholz will shirk from that. And I also think the way that worked with Devin Brown and Kyle McCord 2 years ago may have turned Ryan Day off from some of the package stuff and design series, not paying attention maybe to the flow of the game and trying to get both involved. I think he'll have learned from that. And, every year is different. I think that he'll treat it that way. But I personally, Schlegs, I don't know that I would want to see a red zone package for Lincoln Kienholz. If Julian Sayin can move, if he can still throw down there, then let him do it.
Yeah, he was the number 2 dual quarterback when he came out of high school. So whatever, right? Just let him play. And I would say this too. I think part of this whole thing with the quarterback situation is you are coming off of a really big, bona fide dude veteran in Will Howard. I mean, the man was like 6'4". I mean, he looked like Josh Allen, right? He came in at 245, had to slim down to 235, 238. Big presence guy. And you got babyface Julian as the next guy. And people are talking about his size. I do believe he is taller than me, Bob. So I'm 6'1.5". I think he's probably around 6'1".
Not saying much, like
I know, but he's put on a significant amount of size over the last 18 months since he's been here. He's probably hovering around 210. So I would say this too, and you go back and you alluded to it, Austin. You have to have guys develop. The reason why nobody transferred this last season in the portal is they know they're getting developed while at Ohio State. And why does that matter? You had 9 guys play the offensive line position last season, and a lot of those guys are back. They got meaningful reps against the best, right? We're talking Tennessee's D-line. We're talking, Oregon's D-line, Notre Dame's D-line, Texas D-line, and they handled them all. And that bode well for them moving into this season. So now I'm going to go to this one. Where do you feel about the offensive line? We got Austin Satterfield. He's your left tackle, right? Carson Hentzman, to me, looking like your center. You got Luke Montgomery over there at the left guard. Seems to me that the left side, and we had some people in the chat talking about it, and I think it was Chris, and I'm kind of in agreement with him. That left side, but that right side, you have Tegra, and you have Ethan, and you have Daniels. It's kind of like, what do you feel? What are you hearing that side of the offensive line is going to look like? And remember, everybody, just because they're there doesn't mean they're going to rotate. And I will say they're not going to rotate in series. They rotate series because you need to get in the flow. And we saw last year competitive excellence flip that script after that Michigan game. They started rotating guys, and it really bode well for Ohio State. What are you thinking about that right side of the line?
Yeah, I think, Schlegs, that going into camp, I thought this was going to be the deepest, most versatile, flexible Ohio State offensive line that I've covered. This is now 14 seasons since I've been in Columbus, and there were a lot of years where you were one shoestring and one injury away from real peril. And the fact that Ohio State was able to weather that storm when they had more adversity than anyone could have ever anticipated starting on the first day of training camp was a real tribute to the development, the strength and conditioning program, the recruitment, everybody involved, being able to find a solution when it was pretty perilous potentially. And now you're in this spot where you have 7 guys, I think, that Ohio State would count as starting caliber, and 10 guys, maybe even 11, that they view that they could put out there and not miss a beat. I don't remember it ever being this level of depth for Ohio State. And sometimes when you get to that point, it becomes a little more challenging to narrow it down to 5. And that's why this has not happened with a definitive depth chart for Texas. And I think that if you had to, put money down right now as we sit here, afternoon on the 19th of August, I think Phillip Daniels will probably start the game against Texas at right tackle. I didn't anticipate that really being the outcome even a week ago. 2 weeks ago, definitely not. And I don't think it's anything that Ethan Onyanwa has done wrong. I think it's been a remarkable rise of a very competitive dude in Phillip Daniels, chippy mindset. He's got that shankability, that wild card factor that I know both of you guys love. And I think that Tegra Shabola, and I remember having this conversation going into the Tennessee game. His production seemed to be taking a dip, and we were not aware of how banged up Tegra Shabola was physically. A healthy version of him with his experience and his size, speed, frame, whatever, bodes very well at right guard. And I think that development is only going to continue. And then you have Ethan Onyanwa, who can play guard or tackle and fill in, whether that's you need it on the left side, you need it on the right side. That's a real perk. Now, you may have had to spend more for it in the transfer portal than you would have wanted for a swing guy if that's what Ethan Onyanwa becomes. But to get through the length of this season, 16 games, you're not going to make it through with just 5. That's just not going to happen.
It's interesting. You're right in saying that. Last year they needed them all, and the rise of Daniels and then Saravel being able to play kind of anywhere as a Swiss Army knife obviously has given them that flexibility. The other big question mark, probably outside of the quarterbacks, Austin, was that defensive line. We heard Larry Johnson talk about not a lack of depth, but a lack of experience.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think K-Mac has kind of asserted him as a dude there, and we think Edric can do some things. But after that, it's Tywone Malone, it's Will Smith. Like, there's some questions about that. I mean, are you feeling any better about this offensive line now or defensive tackles than you were a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think that there's probably been no position group, Bob, that has changed the perception of them more over the last couple of weeks. Now, that's training camp, and you have to go carry that over into a different opponent. And Texas, I think it's a fascinating matchup because Texas is replacing 4 starters on the offensive line. That doesn't seem to come up as much in the national conversation as what Ohio State is replacing on the defensive line, but that's none of my business. I think that between Tywone Malone, Will Smith, I was hearing a lot more about Jarquez Carter over the last week, a true freshman, and I know that the closer you get to the ball, the old coaching cliche, like that becomes more difficult. You need more experience. You need to, bump that up before you're ready to be a down in, down out dude. But that he's pushing for work there. And I think that, Jason Moore may be working through a little bit of an injury situation, but nothing I think that's too serious, the same way that Edric Houston had early in camp. I think that Larry Johnson is right. They do have the bodies there. And if there's anywhere that you point to where Larry Johnson has been able to prove his development at a high level, it's the defensive tackles throughout his career. Much more to me than the defensive ends. It's great to point to Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Chase Young. I feel like a lot of people could have maximized those guys with their work ethic and their skills.
Even you, maybe.
I wasn't going to say me, because Larry Johnson is a legend, and I'm just a guy on the street talking about football. But definitely you two could have. I know that for sure. But I do, when I look at the duration of his career, it is the development of those defensive tackles and the 3 technique where Larry Johnson, I think, has really shined. And this is an opportunity for him to do so again.
All right,
Development of that hairstyle. Because normally I have you on a shorter screen, and I was like, I'm gonna pull this over. Like, look at that guy. Look at it. You got gel in there. Look at this, man.
There's only one hairstyle that I can do, Schlegs, and that's because I have like a bunch of very weird, oddly positioned calyx back here. So, and I the bangs grow out much faster, so they got to go up. I'm not going down.
What's that stuff called? LA Freeze or LA Hold? Remember that gel from high school, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, big time.
I see you, Austin. I mean, maybe it's when you're from Wyoming that you have multiple cowlicks, and they're just like, there's a lot of cattle out there, so they lick you a lot as a child and helps those little swirls going down.
Nobody ever explained to me why, but I've always had them.
Yeah, well, they're there. I mean, it's just part of you. It's part of your ness, your Austin-ness, if you will. Before we get you out of here, get you over there to see Ryan and go get sweaty in the Woody. I mean, hopefully you're not going to wear that stinking mock tank.
Look at that thing.
Are you going to wear that in the presser today?
Bob, you know that quarter zip and short season is all year long. It's a mentality. It's a mindset. You attack and dominate it with the long sleeves. And if it's too hot, you just roll them up. All right. I don't know where the camera is there. That's all you got to do. And I'm good to go.
All right.
You're showing me your shingles, 7-year-old man.
These shingles. Okay. So with that, looking at this, what position group would you say is the strongest on this team coming out of camp?
Well, Jeremiah Smith is on this team, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis. I think the wide receivers. And then because the next wave, almost every program in the country would be like, you're not going to use Bryson Rodgers and Mylan Graham, or Quincy Porter. We'll take him.
Mylan Graham's been really good in camp.
Yeah, I think he's going to be dynamic. I've been a big Mylan Graham fan. I love watching him in practice. I oftentimes, probably too much, compare him to Garrett Wilson because of the physical attributes, and the number 5 makes for an easy one for me. I mean, it's the best group in America, so it's hard to take anywhere else. But I do think that the secondary has so many different configurations and permutations and elite talent. When you have Davison Igbinosun and Jermaine Matthews coming back, and we almost don't even talk about them. There's a sense of taking them for granted because it's like, well, what about Aaron Scott and what about Devin Sanchez and how's that all going to move forward? They're so deep at corner. They have options, I think, that Matt Patricia wants to lean into, whether that's moving Caleb Downs at times. You have Jalen McClain and Malik Hartford. You have Fahim Delane getting a black stripe off. Leroy Roker. That group is really impressive too. And you mentioned earlier in the show, both of you guys, the iron sharpening iron and the opportunities that you get on the practice field at Ohio State. I mean, those wide receivers going to battle with that secondary every day is a sight to behold, and it's only going to make Ohio State better once we get through this next week and a half and the season starts.
Absolutely. Austin, we appreciate the time today, dude. Get on over there. Go check him out. I may go meet you here in a little bit. Who knows?
That'd be awesome. We'd love to see you.
Who's speaking today?
We've got Matt Guerreri. We've got Tim Walton. We've got Caleb Downs. We've got Davison. We've got Jermaine Matthews, and we've got Lorenzo Styles.
You know what I want you to ask Tim about? If you get a chance, can you just ask Tim about the coachability and consistency of some of the young players?
Okay.
He might be able to give you a little rant because he was
got it. I'll have Berm do it, and I'll get out of the way.
He was on one the other day.
Who, Nate?
Well, no, not even Nate. Just talking about some of the younger players and just techniques being optional that they somehow tell them to use. So, Buckeyes, thanks for Austin coming on. Say hey to Berm for me. We'll catch up with you guys soon.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
See you,
area
bro.
to get the Roosters going again. That's what they really want. I think we'll get that going here on Mondays coming up with the show we used to do with those guys as well. All right. We got Export, parents and athletes. Protect what matters most with Export mouth guards, trusted by professional athletes and designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards got 3 layers of advanced protection, including patent-use carbon fiber. Schlegs and I got them for our kids, so you need to get them for yours because all of the things, protection, performance, the comfort, the communication, it's all there for you. Don't take chances with your safety. Exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. We got some captains videos coming for you up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, so I'd love to show these out here, and some people don't see them across social media, and so we get a chance to be around these guys and you get to see it. And I mean, this is something that I think Urban started to do, and I know Ryan is taking it kind of the next level with it. But the captains videos, and so we'll pull up Austin's first, and it's pretty cool. I mean, getting a chance to call your parents and tell them that you made captain with your position coach at a school like Ohio State, and how much that ultimately means to you is a big deal. And so here's Austin Saravel with our guy Tyler Bowen.
Clay, how you doing? It's Coach Bowen.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing, brother?
Not much.
Hey, nothing much. Obviously, I want to give you a call. We just finished the scrimmage over here in the stadium, and I got some news for you, but I'll let Austin break it to you if that's all right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Clay. Here's Austin.
What's up?
Hey, buddy. Did you have a good day? I haven't talked to you for a while.
Yeah, I was voted a team captain for the 2025 season.
Yes. That's awesome, buddy. Bitchy, he's a captain.
Hey, Clay, I mean, obviously, you know your son, way better than me, but he's been a pleasure to get to know and coach. And, he's everything that embodies being a captain for this team, being the leader in our O-line room, but more importantly now being a leader for this team. And I'm excited to see what he can do this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you got a good one here.
All right. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Clay. Appreciate
Go
you.
celebrate with some ice cream, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you love, Schleiks. Is that what you're going to say when one of your kids, hey, go celebrate with some ice cream?
100%. Sam would be like, Dad, can we get ice cream? He'd be like, hey, what are we celebrating? Ice cream. I love it. I don't know where he
You love
wanna
for ice
go.
cream?
I love ice cream, dude. I'm that pre-diabetic. I gotta simmer it down. The sugar.
What are your
intake.
A1Cs looking like, Schleiks? We pumping those numbers?
They were almost. They were climbing up in the 5s, Bob, but we're back down into the 4s.
That's good. Well, you know what we're going to do? Now we're going to get a hold of Sonny Styles here, buddy, and getting Sonny sitting down with his parents and talking with our guy, Mr. James. Look how tight James's pants are, too, by the way.
I mean, so tight. I mean, just could you just have a better thing right there? Can you lean back in your chair anymore? Tighten those things up, James.
I'm good. I'm senior with Coach Laurinaitis.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Just sitting here.
Just enjoying this nice, cool weather today.
I'm trying to feel a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we're giving you a call to let you know that Sonny has been voted captain. Not only was he voted captain, he got the most votes out of the 4 captains from the team, which I think speaks volumes about his character and his leadership and what he means to our program. When you're voted captain, your peers look up to you, and you gotta bring it every single day, because when you're a leader, everyone looks to you to be consistent. And if you're not, those guys who don't want to be pushed, they will call you out. So I think it says a lot about Sonny's work ethic and he's extremely deserving. And not only was he voted captain, he was also honored with the Block O jersey to represent Bill Willis as well.
Oh, thank you, Coach. Oh, Sonny, I'm so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you. So proud of you. I know you have worked so hard these last couple of years. I'm just so proud of you, babe. I really am.
Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it.
Yeah, now you know this is like, some big shoes to fill. You have some good examples.
Yeah, I know.
You have some good examples, and the important thing in this world that you're in, lead by example, and make sure it's an inclusive team, right? So,
Yes, ma'am.
but I'm just so proud of you, and Coach. Thank you so much. I mean, oh my gosh, and you got the most votes out of everybody too. I mean, that should make you feel really proud of yourself, and I know how hard you worked for it.
I appreciate it, Mom.
No
I
doubt.
love you so much. I love you so much.
I think she was talking to James that last part, Schleiks.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny listening to her sit there and say, it's a big responsibility now. Like, you get that, like, that's part of it. Once that happens, you're now accountable to everybody else. And so that's why these guys are the way they are. They have great parents. We're going to take a quick break, Schleiks. We're going to come back in our headlines with the final two of Brandon and Caleb, because I just like to watch them all, man. It's a great piece. I hope everybody else enjoys it as much as I do. It's a snapshot, a window in to our players and their families and what they are as people as well. But I want to tell you about our friends over at Backers, Schleiks. New Buckeye gear, premium Buckeye gear for premium Buckeye fans, found to make better quality fan gear. They got the products that you're going to love, the wind, the rain, the cold. I've got them all. Their features are second to none. They look great. They feel even better. So go check them out. bckrbacker.com. Portion of every purchase goes back to Ohio State fans. Use promo code all caps BOBBY at the end for checkout for expedited shipping. Again, that's Backer BCKR. We got our headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, now we're into our headline, Schleiks, brought to you by our friends over at Lake Spur Marketing. They pride themselves on delivering positive and powerful results, full service transparency, marketing agency. They're going to be with you every single step of the way. They're in constant communication with their clients. They'll always be there to be able to talk to you, talk about the strategies, the planning, how things are going, tweak those little objectives that they're working on. At Lake Spur Marketing, there's a set it and forget it strategy. Their tactics are customized to your needs. Trust the experts. Trust Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in their partners. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today. All right. Next up on the list, our guy, Brandon Ennis,
here he is.
Wide receiver, first-year starter, and a junior, earning the captain's award. Schlag, super rarity to see this ultimately happen, but not surprising if you know him. As we get a chance, here's Brian Hartline, some nice short shorts. Look at those quads popping, Schlags. Teardrops, feeling good. Here's B.I. and Hart.
Amy, what's up? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. We just finished up our big scrimmage in camp and in the stadium.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? How'd it go?
I think pretty good. We'll have to watch the film here shortly, but I think that guys are checking out of the hotel and we're getting ready to transition. So, Brandon had a great camp. I just want to connect with you. Obviously, I've been really proud of him and how he's come along. Everything he does does not shock you, obviously, because you know him in and out. But
yeah.
Exactly. So, but he keeps taking things to the next level and doing a great job. And actually, I have him here. He has to tell you something. What's up, Mom?
Okay. Hi. I miss you.
I miss you too. So we had the whole team vote for captains last night, and I got voted one of the 4 captains.
Like for the year? Like you're gonna be a captain?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, obviously, as a former player, like it's definitely a brotherhood, to be in the locker room, but then to be a captain, it's just definitely something different, and something more special. So, I never earned that honor. Some of my best friends were captains, but the legacy that he'll be able to show his kids one day and help build this place. I mean, just pretty cool. So I'm really proud of him, and I know he wanted to connect with you. So.
Yay! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for calling. I'm so excited.
So great. Here's Mom, just the excitement in her voice and like Hart. I mean, she's like, you and I weren't captains. Hart wasn't a captain. James was, and like listening to that, pretty unbelievable stuff, and talking about how like special that is to be able to get that done. And now finally, another underclassman captain, Mr. Caleb Downs, coming in from to Alabama, but now been here for 2 years and a full-on Buckeye.
Coach G.
What's up, Gary?
What's good?
How you doing, man?
Hey, Tanya with you?
No, she's not. What's up?
She's not with you? Hey, we were calling you. Got some news, got some information we want to share with you.
What's that?
Tell him to.
We voted on captains the other day, and I was one of the 4 captains. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, we're excited about it, man. We're excited about it. So.
I appreciate that.
You know how much we love him, man. So appreciate everything you do.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all naming him a captain or his teammates naming him a captain.
For sure. Big honor for him, man.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations, Caleb.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man. We wanted to call and make sure we, to share that with you, man. That's a big honor for him, man. He deserved it. He done a great job with it. So we just wanted to make sure we hit you face to face and let you know that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
FaceTime me.
Hey, what's up?
I am not showing y'all my face. What?
Hey, we
Put
call.
your camera-
Put your camera on for 1 second.
We got good, Tanya. We got good news. We're calling good news.
Yes.
You look great.
Yeah, superstar.
You look great.
Whatever.
That's great. You get his mom in the background hopping on there. I'm not showing you my face. I'm not. You got to think, man. They don't know it's coming. It's like a publisher's clearinghouse. Poof, David Copperfield. They call you and like you have no idea.
Captain.
Yeah, you're a captain. Throw him on the FaceTime, get a chance to see him, and very, very special moment to watch those getting shared with their family. Schlegs. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up next, we've got our tailgate talk. We're answer your questions, so fire them away in the chat.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, now we're into our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck Schlegs. And this was from Noonan, who I like to see, that doesn't hop on here a ton, but said, I want to thank you guys for the great discussions about what it takes at the level of sacrifice, consistently doing the little things, best info, motivating my daughter to get a D1 soccer commit. So Noonan, happy to be a part of that. Hopefully, able to land some things. And Schlegs, as much as I love talking sports and, Ohio State football, the best part of all of that is the human development that you get to see. And so to get to share that and to hear some feedback, because you hope you're making a difference in people's lives. Like you hope you are. You have no idea for sure. And you get to see the results sometimes more tangibly than others. But Noonan, that was awesome to see. And we were super happy to hear that.
Well, it also goes into what we just heard and why we thought it was important to share it, Bob, which was you wanted to share these. And it was because it's the human element, right, of everything that goes in. And as much as we talk about the development in the weight room and the development from the coaches, and sometimes we forget it's the encouragement from the parents behind the scenes. And let us not forget, like, Bob, you have young kids. My kids are in college, and I still have a younger one. But it's the fact, like, you're out there coaching their practices. You're the ones that were taking them to the games and going to multiple states and going to do extra practice on a Saturday or a Sunday, or working all day and then going to practice and then getting home at 9 o'clock and then redoing it. And it's not that you do it for you, it's their career, but it's to set them up for success. And when moments like this arise, because they're no longer in your home, but they're able to handle their business and continue to develop, and then voted on by their peers to have this leadership responsibility and role within that team, it's important to share, because it just validates, again, like I talk about, that the work that you put in is working, and it's now on them to take it and run with it, and they're doing that, and it just validates all of the years that have come into it. And I think it's good for as much as we are fans and want them to succeed and get pissed off when they don't, they're still just people out there performing, a craft that you and I both, we all love to talk about and discuss, and that is football at The Ohio State.
It is. You're 100% correct. Schlegs, I've been going through and reading some of the comments from our Friday show that had the Michigan announcement on it. There's some live ones. How about this one from ATL Buck? Michigan is now and forever the O.J. Simpson of college football. The only good thing I see that comes from this is the NCAA is useless and schools just need to walk away from them. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, it goes into. Bob Stoops had a great kind of
we're going to get to that because Stoops.
Okay.
That's a whole segment, because Bob Stoops, the Hall of Fame coach, national championship winning coach, also from Ohio. Some very strong words. So we'll get to that Wednesday, probably Thursday's show. Be able to talk about this. Yeah, because it's wild. But obviously, there was a lot of things that happened, a lot of things that transpired. And just reading through these, man, it's yeah. I don't even.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, we love all the comments, and that's what it's about, because everybody has an opinion, and we want you to share your opinion. We obviously.
I love the opinion. I'm not here.
No. We love them. We love hearing everything. Hell, in the chat today, we're talking about UDF and how I think it was Chris in there. He loves the UDF chocolate malt, and I haven't had a chocolate malt in a hot minute.
I told him you love milkshake, Schlegs.
I know I did, and guess what? I'm going to have to go just buy some diesel at UDF and just go celebrate a day. Just accomplish the day. Adjust, attack, and dominate with a chocolate malt.
Adjust, Schlegs. That's what we're all about. We're going to hear your parting thoughts as you wrap up the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next. All right, Schlegs, been an eventful day. A lot of juice coming through. Why don't you fire away your parting thoughts?
Put it on there. Hit play.
The wholesomeness, though, of school sports is still the strongest in football. There's something special about playing for your town, your school, with your buddies.
Right.
Friday night. It's hard to describe to a kid nowadays what that looks like, but I don't know how you guys feel, but looking back on that, the highlight of my entire football journey, I had really fun times, great guys. There's something cool playing with your buddies at your school Friday night in front of your town and going to try to beat the town next door to you that you grew up playing against those kids. And I just don't think you ever beat that.
Just the purity of the.
Yeah, that's right. Cut it. And I want to say this. Obviously, this is a Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, August 19th. First Friday night of high school football here in Ohio. I know the game of the week is Big Walnut versus Bishop Watterson. And is it Bishop Watterson? No, it's just Watterson, right?
No, Bishop Watterson.
Bishop Watterson. Anyways, defending state champions. But it's special. And these kids have been going through camp. And it's something. So everybody get out there, man. Make plans. Go out there, support your local team. Support what these young people have been doing. They've been in there. Their coaches are coaching, trying to develop them. and it's something you remember. And I still remember my high school days very, very fondly, Bob. You do too. And it's just, again, it's part of that journey and something that we need to celebrate.
My dad said, his father, their generation went to the military to become, men. He's like, now he's like, a lot of people aren't in the military anymore. It's much smaller. Everybody used to join it. He goes, now it's high school football. That's what it is for most young men. And that prepares them hopefully for a life afterwards of everything else. So that's the purpose of it. And then playing in those game Schlegs, the emotional highs, the lows, the wins, the losses, dealing with all of it in game, post game, invaluable lessons that you will learn. Invaluable lessons. And football is the ultimate team sport. Only one or two guys usually get to score in a game, and 11 guys do the work on each side of the football. And it's a really big deal. So get out there and support it. I echo Anthony's thoughts. We will catch up with you tomorrow here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.